I have to show you something which will seem very bearish and very bad. So hold your
Perfect.
hold your horses here. I don't know what to say in English, but this may be a little bit scary, but it's also something that we probably should pay attention to.
Hey, everybody, I'm coming to you again. It's Monday with the moon. Here's Carl. Make sure to subscribe to his channel down below. Carl, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I know that crypto is a little bit boring right now, but I'm always excited to be in crypto because I know that we're part of a big revolution. So even if we're down a little bit for this week or next week, I don't care so much. I'm in it for the long run, and any dip is just an opportunity to just accumulate more, I think. And yeah, so I'm doing very, very well. How are you doing?
Well, I was doing better because I thought you were going to come on here and you're going to tell me that Bitcoin was going to explode today to $1 million, and it did not. You did. You prepared me for a couple of weeks, maybe a boring action. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
About $1 million?
No. Tell us a little bit more about where Bitcoin's going.
This is something I can probably do. Let's head straight into the charts. Okay, let's start off on the daily time frame. I believe last week we were talking about that we had seen this bearish divergence play out, and we also, of course, broke this key support level and resistance level here at $53,000 approximately. And we also broke this upward trending support, which of course means that we have broken the structure, the key structure, which is bearish. And ever since then, we've had just kind of some consolidation. I think last week, what I said literally was, I think we're going to consolidate here. Because usually when we see something like this, we don't go straight back up again. And usually we don't go straight down like this either, because we saw a huge wick to the downside. And usually when this happens, when we usually go a little bit sideways for some time. And the two most important horizontal levels right now are this level right here, like I said, 53K, and then this for support down here at 41K approximately. As long as we're above this level, you could kind of say that we're on the weekly time frame we're bullish, but obviously on the daily we're clearly in the bear market here. That is something that actually is very important to understand. We are in a daily bear market right now. You don't hear many people say that because it sounds horrible, it sounds bearish, and it doesn't sound so much fun, but it is true. Just like back here when we broke this level right here, this level right there. People that follow my channel remember how I went fully bearish here, and I told people that we are entering into a daily bear market within a bigger bull cycle, but still it's a bear market. And I think it's very important to understand that we are bearish here, and we have lower highs, lower lows. And in the immediate short term, if you have to pick up or down, you need to understand that down should be more likely on the daily. But when you zoom out to the weekly time frame, you can see that on the weekly, we still have a trajectory of higher lows and higher highs. So you could actually make the case that the weekly time frame is bullish and the daily time frame is bearish. And if you bring out the weekly EMA ribbon, then even the weekly ribbon confirms that we're still above this weekly exponential support, which is a good sign. And I think this just goes to show that the bull cycle is still intact. The only thing that is happening right now is that we're getting a daily bear trend, just like we saw back there. And hopefully we will see a reversal just like we saw last time. So something like this, hopefully.
Yeah, that looks. Now let me ask you this question. You know, when you really look at the weekly and the daily, you know, the last run up from, you know, say November to May, you know, it lasted a really long time, and we got a mini bear market that lasted about two to 3 months. When you look at what we just went through, where we, you know, went up from the, you know, the middle to end of July up until November, that's a much shorter time frame. Do you think we're going to see a shorter mini bear market here? Because, you know, basically we had a gigantic exhausted run up, a drop down, consolidation, and then it wasn't nearly as quick of a rise or as big of a rise as it was in the first half of the year. Look, basically, what's your projection for how long we're going to chop sideways here? Is it closer to a month, 2 months? Do you think longer?
So I guess this is a great question because I have to show you something which will seem very bearish and very bad. So hold your
Perfect.
hold your horses here. I don't know what to say in English, but this may be a little bit scary, but it's also something that we probably should pay attention to. So what we can see here is that on the weekly time frame, we are actually forming a bearish divergence, a pretty big one, like a very I would say it's confirmed even by now because we broke the support here, and that was kind of the level for me where the divergence is actually getting pretty much confirmed. And this bearish divergence, I mean, if you follow the like standard technical analysis of this, you should expect some kind of bigger consolidation, maybe like this, before we start going up. And I mean, then we could maybe go bullish already, or I mean, maybe we have to wait until, like, I don't know, somewhere May or September, August next year for going bullish. But like, you cannot really, you cannot take a bearish divergence and just say, like, you cannot pick dates based on that. I'm just saying right now that there is a bearish divergence, and that is something we have to pay attention to. And it could also very well be a triple bearish divergence where we go up like this and we see another top like that, but that creates yet another divergence. That's also possible like this.
Well, that would make sense because that would set up for a big bear market.
Yeah, I mean, this could actually, this could happen. We could go, but this could take us all the way above 100,000 and then back down again. So I know that people want me to say exactly where we're going, but with this bearish divergence, it's not enough information to give any price prediction. I'm merely telling you guys that it is something that we have to just kind of pay attention to, and I think that it is on the bearish side. And maybe this means that we are going to consolidate longer than people are expecting right now, longer than even I initially thought. I still think there's a chance we just go straight up here, but maybe this bearish divergence is going to lead to longer consolidation before we see this happen. I guess that's what I'm seeing.
So what you're saying right now, Carl, if I'm really reading you correctly here, is it can go up or it could go down or it could go sideways. Is that correct?
I mean, so up and down are both definitely possible, and sideways is always a possibility.
Perfect.
And if it doesn't go sideways, we can also go backwards, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, there it is. There's your rich formula. Y'all are going to get rich now using that information. I do like the.
If you want me to like really make a summary, which is more like clear, I would say this: instead of saying up or down, I think we're definitely bearish here. Like, we on the daily time frame, it's definitely down if you have to choose a direction because we broke key support. So in the immediate short term, everyone wants to know up or down. I would have to say down for the daily time frame.
Well, unfortunately, Carl, you've been correct about that a lot. That you've been on my channel and I've been bullish and you've been bearish. And unfortunately, there have been a lot of times where, like I said, the price has not really cooperated. One thing I would like to point out real quick, if you could pull up those divergences again, back on the weekly, where you're at. I would say also, if you look from May, April of 2019, we also had a really huge bearish divergence playing out between May and about, June of 2020. So back further on the chart, basically the last big bearish divergence that was on the RSI. Yeah, right there. From right there, down to the other end. I mean, it's not like that one played out massively or anything like that. Basically, if you really look at that, that's one long sideways action, basically, in between there and, the middle of 2020. So we did have a big drop there right in January at the beginning of the year. I guess that was, or was that the March crash? That was the March crash right there. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's definitely possible that this is not going to play out right now. I think when you look at that, at the triple scenario, if you look at the triple scenario where we do have one more monster run up and then we get the triple bearish divergence with 3 peaks, and then that leads to a bear market, I think that would make a lot of sense based on the history of Bitcoin.
I know, like I would love to come here and be only bullish. Yeah. At this exact moment, For me, I just can't.
Yeah.
But I still really believe that we're still in a bull cycle. The only thing that is happening now is probably just showing us that we're getting lengthening cycles. So we're maybe not seeing this 4-year atomic clock kind of thing that we've seen, or that people speculated before. Maybe we're seeing lengthening cycles. Maybe the bull market top is going to happen at the end of next year, or maybe even the year after that. But I still think we're in a bull market, because I think the bull market top is for sure going to be above 100K. So I'm still 95% sure of that.
Yeah, but you were 99.9% sure of it maybe a couple months ago. Is that correct, you think?
Yeah, the
I was as well.
Going down a little bit.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all we got for today. Carl painted a very bleak picture, and I tried to add some very colorful touches for some bullish scenarios at the end, and he shot me down again. So, all right, guys, I want to know, you guys drop your comments down below. Who's right? Who's wrong? Will it go up? Will it go down? Will it go backwards, as Carl suggested today? Drop those comments down below. That's all I got. Thanks, Carl. Be blessed. Good way out.